I'm back and I want to talk about something that I thought that I would never talk about, and that is tennis. When this story broke on Monday by the BBC and Buzzfeed, I honestly thought that was an Onion article. I honestly did. That was until I started to look more into it. This could be a huge scandal, and I mean huge by what happened in India with cricket and if FIFA was going with them right now. Now, I admit the first question I asked was, why? Let's face it, tennis is a fifth-tier sport in this country, so why even bother with throwing matches? Then I remembered that it is huge in other countries, it really is. Now, in the press conference, Chris Kermode and Nigel Willerton discussed this issue at depth.
The Tennis Integrity Unit and the tennis authorities absolutely reject any suggestion that evidence of match fixing has been suppressed for any reason or isn't being thoroughly investigated. And while the BBC and BuzzFeed reports mainly refer to events from about 10 years ago, we will investigate any new information, and we always do.
However, if they don't then consent to give them, that's called non-cooperation, and they can be reported and then sanctioned for non-cooperation, in which there was a case recently when a player was sanctioned for a 2-year suspension.
Now, I will say that I believe them on this. They want to keep the sport clean, and they will do everything in their power to make sure that happens. Now, keep in mind of this taping, the Australian Open is in full progress, and a few of the best players in the world spoke about the scandal going on right now.
Not that I'm aware of. When I'm playing, I can only answer for me. I play very hard, and every player that I play seems to play hard. And I think that, we go, as an athlete, I do everything I can to be not only great, but, historic. And, if that's going on, I don't know about it. I'm kind of sometimes in a little bit of a bubble.
I would like to hear the name, I would love to hear names, and then at least it's concrete stuff and you can actually debate about it. Was it the player? Was it the support team? Who was it? Is it now? Was it before? Was it a doubles player? Was it a singles player? Which slam? It's so all over the place. It's such nonsense to answer something that is just pure speculation. But like I said, it's super serious and it's super important to maintain the integrity of our sport.
I don't know if that's maybe it is, a good thing for the young players. I don't know. I just think that it should be tennis that does a better job of explaining. They shouldn't have to read it in the press. You have to be proactive, I think, with things like this and go and speak to the players rather than them reading about it in the newspapers or listening to it on the TV or the radio. I think the more proactive you are with educating young players, the better on matters like this.
Now, this is where this becomes problematic in their statements. For the record, I had to take what they say at face value. However, in this interview conducted with Andrew Castle, he tells a very different tale with the lower tier players.
This is online gambling. Already people have been done for this in the past, and now a full and thorough investigation needs to take place. It is as simple as that. Do I think there's a problem at the top end? No, I don't. The Nadal, Djokovic, Murray, Federer, Wawrinka, all that lot, I think they're immune to it because I think there's a vast amount of money up there. The temptation is not there. Lower down the game, we might have a bit of a problem that needs to be looked at, but nothing's being suppressed. I have complete faith in the governing body because, look, everyone's got a vested interest, be it broadcasters, governing bodies, the Grand Slams, the WTA, which is the women's tour, the ATP, the men's tour, the Grand Slams. If you can't trust what you're watching, then it's not worth watching. So, we don't want to be going down the road of other sports who've been either slow to act or have not acted. And I don't think tennis is in that category at all. So I'm pleased with the response so far, but it's got to be robust.
Can be implicated.
Well, we don't know whether it's male or female. We don't know when it was, whether it was singles, doubles or mixed. So again, this sort of speculation is unhelpful to the game. How concerned am I? Very. It's one thing in a challenger somewhere. These so many matches get bet on. It's quite another with a hugely high-profile match at one of the biggest tournaments in the world. So yes, there are different categories, and it does worry me. I don't see the match-fixing problem. The matches that I watch, I don't see that. But let me tell you, at the lower end, there is a temptation. Of course there is. If you're making £30,000 or £40,000 a year, and somebody comes up to you and says, I don't know, for instance, double fault on the third point of your second service game, and I'm going to double your yearly wages if you do that. I mean, that is one scenario of many. I can double fault or hit the top of a net or a passing shot or anything like that if I want to, and I can make it look like it was a part of the match. So enforcing integrity in the game is difficult. There is still an element of trust. You have to trust people. This is going to be a problem that's going to be around a while.
Now this is believable. I could see this only because the money would be too tempting for them to pass up. What makes it more believable is what the Novak Djokovic, the world's #1 in tennis, said when he was asked about it.
I was not approached directly. I was approached through, well, I mean me personally, through people that were working with me at that time. They were in my team, and of course we threw it away right away. I mean, it didn't even get to me. The guy that was trying to talk to me, he didn't even get to me directly. So there was nothing out of it, you know. And unfortunately, there were some those days. Some rumors, some talk, some people that were going around, but they were dealt with, and in the last 6-7 years, I haven't heard anything similar. So it's a fine line. Honestly, it's still on a borderline, I would say. Whether you want to, have betting companies involved, the big tournaments in our sport, or not. It's hard to say what's right and what's wrong. I think tennis has one of the reasons why tennis is a popular and clean sport, because it has always valued its integrity.
Folks, that is the #1 player in the world saying this. Now think about it for a moment. It blows what Williams, Federer, and Murray said out of the water. And I believe those three for now, but that is damning that at least indirectly happening or is trying to happen. And in all of this leads me to a question. If the mob, or any gang for that matter, is going to do sports fixing, why even waste your time with tennis? I have to ask. I mean, it's a complete waste of motion in my opinion. Save your money if you're going to do that. Tennis, in all respect, is not money well spent in my mind.